Hi there, I'm attorney Ben Schwartz, and today we're doing video number 3 of 3 on the topic of leaving money on the table. And as many of you know from watching our other videos, we're in a law firm where we handle personal injury cases, workers' compensation cases, automobile accident cases. And oftentimes, my theory is oftentimes I see people that don't take action to pursue a personal injury claim or a personal injury lawsuit because they like the defendant or they feel bad about pursuing their legal rights. And the classic example of this is a couple that I am currently representing. One of the people was injured in an automobile accident. They were struck by another motorist. The other motorist happens to be a very nice old lady. And my clients did not want to pursue a claim against her because they felt like if they pursued a claim against her or pursued a lawsuit against her, they would be doing something against her. They would be doing something that could harm her or hurt her. And so they really sort of were on the fence. They went back and forth about whether they should go to an attorney, and eventually they did come to me and we did take action, but they really felt like very resistant to the idea of going to an attorney, very resistant to the idea that they might have to file a lawsuit simply because they liked the defendant. And I know that these cases exist. I know they exist in the context of automobile accidents. I know that they exist in the context of medical malpractice cases as well. And in fact, physicians are taught that if your patients like you, that's a good thing, not because having good relationships with patients is beneficial, but because having patients that like you means that there's fewer people that want to sue you when you screw up. And so, the whole idea that I'm trying to articulate to you is that there are a lot of cases, auto accident cases, slip and fall cases, dog bite cases, medical malpractice cases, where the injured plaintiff, or the person that would be an injured plaintiff, does not want to pursue their legal rights because they like the defendant and they feel like they would be doing something to harm the defendant if they went to an attorney and they learned more about their rights and they pursued a legal claim or an insurance claim. And my point in doing this video is that if that is your perspective, then that is commendable because it means that you have empathy and you care for your fellow citizen. And that's a good thing. But at the same time, from my perspective, it can be a bad thing too because you're leaving money on the table. When you go to an attorney and you make a claim or you file a lawsuit, typically there is insurance coverage for the defendant's negligence. And if the defendant did something wrong, was careless, was negligent, or reckless, the insurance company that they have will pay for their defense, will pay for their defense lawyer's attorney's fees, and will pay the judgment that you get or the settlement that you get against them. And so really there's insurance coverage. If there wasn't insurance coverage, no attorney would encourage you to pursue a claim, at least in most cases involving auto accidents and slip and falls and typical personal injury situations, because by pursuing the claim you're spending money and time on a case that where there's no insurance coverage you may not receive compensation back. So my point is that people leave money on the table when they like the defendant. If you have had a situation where you're sort of thinking that, hey, I like the person that caused my injuries, even though they did something wrong and they injured me, you should not let that stop you from at least speaking to an attorney to learn about your legal rights. Because if you let that stop you, you're leaving money on the table. Money was paid to an insurance company in the form of a premium to provide insurance for that person. And maybe they're a nice person, and maybe you like them, but what you're doing by not making a claim is you're not helping that person, you're helping their insurance company. You're helping their insurance company to keep more of their money rather than paying it out to an injured person who is deserving of compensation. And so this is video 3 out of 3 on leaving money on the table. I hope that you found this video and the series of videos informative and helpful. I hope that it gave you something to think about. I'd be interested to know what your thoughts are on my views about leaving money on the table. Feel free to send me an email, ben.schwartz@schwartzandschwartz.com. You can go on our Facebook page at facebook.com/schwartzandschwartz and leave a comment. There are sections for comments after each video and after each post. You can leave a comment for us there. And I hope you found this helpful and informative, and thank you very much for watching.